Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Welcome, guys. So this is our welcome to Dawah series, okay, where we are discussing how you can follow, understand this, and go on and start your own Dawah journey as well. Okay, so these are arguments that we're presenting to help the Muslims to understand better what they want to be discussing. Okay, so I implore you to watch the whole series. This is episode 12. So we've already left the Trinity, we are now in the incarnation, and we might, when I feel like I've done justice or to some level to the incarnation, we can even go back to the Trinity and do some other stuff. There are many things I want to teach you guys, but these ones are just the beginning part, and I want to put them together in one series so that someone can just watch all of this and then they get an idea and they can start talking also. So now we are in the doctrine of the incarnation. If you remember, the last time I just presented in episode 11, I just presented all what it is, Actually, I have not taken a picture. Let me just take a picture right here. Okay, done. So we talked about how it all started on hypostatic union and all the heresies involved, okay, and what you can say and what you cannot say, okay. Now, maybe someone wants to be a heretic. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. The kind of arguments I'm going to present for you guys, even if you want to leave the church and become an Apollinarian or a Nestorian or whatever, it doesn't affect us, guys. Remember, and that's what we are going to do. So let me just do a quick recap and show you where it all started from. So you remember the doctrine of reincarnation? I told you it's like this. Okay, you have three persons in the Trinity. One person here, one person here. Three persons, one being. That's the language, okay? Three persons, one being. One of the persons did what? Is an hypostatic union with a fully human nature. Okay? A human nature. Okay? Now, this is a human nature, not a human person. Okay? We already made that distinction. A human nature is different from a human person for some reason. Okay? But it doesn't matter. Whichever way they choose it. But I just want you to understand that so that you know. Remember, I told you. Look at this. For you to be a human person, what do you need? Just like you and I. The soul and the body. Okay? You have a soul, you have a body. Now, the human nature that is in the hypostatic union, does he have a body and a soul? The church, they said yes. But they said he's not a human person. Okay? So, you can ask them that question, I told you. But whatever, let's let them have it. So, they are saying the human nature is not a human person. Because if you say it's a human person, then you have one person plus the one human person, then you have two persons. So that when Jesus is speaking, we don't even know who's speaking there. Okay, so that's why the church, this is what they're actually trying to avoid. Such that when you read the Bible, you don't think they are, okay, who is talking now? Is it God or is he the man? So they're trying to avoid that. But anyway, this is what they believe. This is hypostatic union, okay? Now, they don't mix, remember, Eutychianism. So we'll use that a lot in this. Remember, Eutychianism. Meaning, they don't mix the divine Son here and the human nature. They don't mix. Okay, so if you say they mix and they become some kind of union or something like this, the union they are talking about doesn't mean they are united like this. So that you have, this is not the hypostatic union. This is a heresy. If you think they mixed or something like this, it's heresy. Okay, so in this part, we want to look at some objections to this idea. Okay, now, so the church, they want to be able to eat their cake. Okay, how do they say that joke? Whatever, I don't know, I forgot it. Like, you cannot, what is it? Eat your cake and have it. Yes, they want to eat their cake and they want to have it. Okay, that's what they are doing. So now, when this human nature, okay, now, they said God sent his Son to die for us. Okay, remember that the Father loved us, so he sent his Son to come and die. Okay, now, we are asking this question. Did the Son really die? Okay, why? Okay, now, let me show you. On the one hand, you have this. And then on the other hand, you have this. Okay. You have the divine Son here. What does this divine Son have? For someone to be divine, by definition, they are immortal. Meaning they cannot die. And they cannot feel pain. Okay? They don't feel pain. No pain. Okay? no pain. They are not ignorant. That means they are omnipotent or omniscient. Sorry, and all of that too. Omnipotent, omniscient, and all those attributes of God. You have to have it if you are divine. Okay, but a human is the opposite of that. A human is mortal. He feels pain. Okay, and weak. Okay, or is ignorant. Okay, a human is ignorant. Okay, in this case, ignorant. Okay, so now in the apostatic union, you have a mix. You have a union of. It's not even a union like this, but it's some kind of union where you have opposing attributes or opposing characteristics. So you have the immortal and the mortal. You have the one that doesn't feel pain and the one that feels pain. We have the one that is omniscient and the one that is ignorant. Okay? So, what are we going to take from this now? Such that if you believe that Jesus was killed now, so this is Jesus, okay? According to them. So this is Jesus, and you believe he was crucified. Okay? A while, now let's go to the crucifixion. Okay? Let's say this is a crucifixion. Is it crucifixion or there's some stuff going on here? Whatever. On the cross. When the nail was pressed into his hand, for example, there's pain. Okay? He felt pain, according to you. So that pain now, we take it. And eventually he died. Okay? So, died. Which, this pain is an attribute of the human. The death is an attribute of the human, mortal. The pain, you feel pain. Okay? So, all these two attributes only apply to the human. Okay? They don't apply to the divine. So now, the question is, the divine person that came, did he die or not? The divine person, did he die? Of course not. The divine person didn't die. Okay? The divine person, pure pain. No. And here, we would like to explore death. Okay? Let's just explore death. Because I would use, the one I will use for you, let me show you. The one I will use is pain. I know why I will use pain. I'll show you why later. A lot of people get confused about death. Okay? So when we talk about death, they get confused. So death just means, see, remember you have a body and a soul. Okay? When you die, your body is gone and your soul lives on. Everybody, normal person, everybody. Your soul does not die. Okay? So your soul is still alive, but your body is dead. Okay? You are not annihilated. Death is not equal to annihilation. Okay? Annihilation means you are just reduced, you are gone, you have disappeared from existence. No. When you die, your soul is alive. Okay? Your body is dead. So, does that mean because your soul is alive, does that mean you are not you are immortal? Does that mean you are immortal? Of course not. You are mortal because you die. Your body, once your body has lost all its function and is gone, you're immortal. That's why you're immortal. And God is not immortal. God is immortal. Means he can never die in any shape or form, in any way. There's no way, like, death can never be ascribed to God. Okay? Only us that we have body and a soul, we can die. Okay? And other things too can die. Only God cannot die. Okay? Remember that. So now we've explained death. So now let me now go to another part. Remember this, yes. Just pay attention. Okay? Remember, this person is a one person. Remember the language of the what's it called? The Trinity. They say there are three who's. Three who's and one what. Okay? Remember this. Three who's and one what. So each person is a who. So this is a who, this is a who, this is a who. One of the who's came such that the one is here now. So if I ask you, who is this? The only who here. And remember, the what is supposed to be for the being, the nature. Okay? Because the one being is the divine nature. So the human nature here is not a who. It's not a who, because if it's a who, it's a person. Remember, they said the person is for the who, the being is for the what. Okay? This is a human being, but he's not a human person, according to the church. Okay? The church says he's a human being, but he's not a human person. make sure like you can watch this as many times as possible. This is the position of the church, because if you say he's a human person, you're a Nestorian, such that we'll have two persons here. There will be another 1p. He's not a human person. Okay, get that. So he's a what? Okay, a human being is a what? Okay, a human person is a who. You have said he's not a who. He's not a human person. So he's not a who. He's a what. So we have one who and two what. And there's actually people that agree that there are some people who've actually said this, that the incarnation is just what's it called? One who and two what. So he has two nature. Remember that, what I just said now. Two nature. Two natures. Abi, is it two natures? Two natures. Christology. Two natures or two nature. Whatever. You have two nature. Okay? This is two nature Christology. Meaning you have, what does it mean? It means you have one who and two what. Okay? These two whats, what are they? The two whats is that you have a divine nature and a human nature. Okay, this is the meaning of it. Okay, now if I ask you, who is this? The only who here is the divine. The only who here is this 1p. Is the one person that is coming from here. That's the only who. The thing that could have been another who is not a human person. So it's a what? I did not ask you who. So you can ask that question. Who died on the cross? Okay? First question. Very important one. But remember, this is the one we use. Remember this. This is the one you need. I will tell you why this is, and it gives you a much more clearer one. Pain, okay? Because people, they don't understand death. I don't know why, but if you ask that question, who died on the cross? We know that who is only for persons, okay? So the only person here is the divine person. So did the divine person die on the cross? The answer is no. Okay? The divine person did not die because the divine person is immortal. Okay? It's immortal. It cannot die. Okay? Therefore, that question is valid. Who died on the cross? You cannot say it's the divine person. It has to be the human person. But you already told us it's not a human person. You said it's a human nature. We did not ask you what. We asked you who. Okay? But I'll tell you why. Any which way they go about it, it doesn't work. Okay? So now, another question will be, who felt pain on the cross? That's the one we use now. Pain. We now use pain. Okay? This one is easier for people to understand. Because we also know God does not feel pain. Okay, so who felt pain on the cross? If I ask you this question, remember the apostatic union? This is it. Who felt pain? The son or the human, whatever. I said who. You know, this who question is important. I did not say what. If I said what, you can be telling me this one. I said who. So we know that we cannot get an answer. If you said who, because the only person here is a divine person who cannot feel pain. Okay? Okay, so a divine person cannot feel pain because that's God. How can God feel pain? Impossible. Okay, he cannot even, like, you cannot say God can feel pain. No, he cannot feel pain. Okay, now this is the only person here, and he cannot feel pain. So nobody. The answer is nobody. No person. Okay, no person felt pain on the cross because there's only one person there cannot feel pain. The only thing other than the divine person here is not a person. Is a nature. Okay, now that is that, and for this one too, no person died on the cross, and you see that that's a consequence of choosing that position that is not a human person, is a human nature. Now you might say, ask us what? Okay, so we now ask you, what died on the cross? Okay, what? But let's use pain. What felt pain on the cross? Okay. We are being charitable here, okay? On the cross. Normally, that should have ended it, but I know they might want to say, see, we should ask what felt pain on the cross, okay? Now, if we ask you what felt pain on the cross, now you have two what. Remember, we said you have two what. So, it's not the divine nature. So, it's the divine nature that felt, it's the human nature that felt pain. So, you say the human, are you happy now? The human nature felt pain on the cross. But the point is this, look, the human nature feeling pain, when he's feeling that pain, the pain cannot cross over to the divine person. So the divine person can never feel pain. Even if the human nature is feeling pain, the divine person does not feel it. Such that the divine person coming here, he did not feel the pain, he did not die. Whatever it is that felt pain and died is not the divine person, it's not the divine son. Which means he's just feeling pain and dying and is not a person. And all of that is just happening. It never touched the divine person. So what is the whole point? Do you see? And you can see what we mean by that. So if you now say, yeah, God died for us, God did not die for you. Whatever died for you is like a what do you call this thing? It's not real. Okay? It's just something that is not real. Because see, how is it not real? You can even show it another way. I'm putting like a lot of content. I hope you can watch it over and over again. But remember the argument. The argument is that, and by the way, they want to be able to say that, see, God died for us. They're actually saying that. They're saying, see, God came and he died for us because they believe the divine son is God. The question is, can two natures solve that problem? Can you die? So they will say, he died as a man. Okay? He died with his human nature. He cannot die with his divine nature because now they are giving it two options. So there's one divine person, he can die. So he has two natures. So he died as a human nature, but he didn't die as a divine nature. That's what they're saying. The point is, he cannot die as a human nature. You cannot die as something else because in your nature is like you cannot die. So you cannot die as something else. The moment you die, that means you are not divine. If you die in any way, shape, or form, you are not God. Do you understand? So if this thing died now, it doesn't affect the divine nature. So the reason why I use different colors to show you that whatever is going on here, it doesn't even affect the divine person here. It doesn't affect it in any way. So if this guy died, if this guy is feeling pain, whatever it is, if this guy is ignorant, whatever, it doesn't touch the divine person. Which means the incarnation is not even possible. And that's why I made you can say that's the Logos, because they believe the divine person is the Logos. So the Logos is transcendent. And at the end of the day, transcendent. By the way, transcendent means he cannot even interact with it. Because if you say interact, are you a Eutychianism? Okay? That's when they mix. But you are saying they don't mix, nothing can be transferred. The only thing left, there's something called, I just want to put everything on this video, guys. Let me just take a picture real quick. Let me take a picture real quick for this thumbnail. Okay, done. So the only thing left now that they resort to is something called, it's called communicatio idiomatum, which means it's just like communication of idioms. Idioms. Okay? What does it mean? There are many rules under it. But at the end of the day, it's just a linguistic. I will just tell you straight up, it's linguistic. It's just a way of saying, we can say it, but such that if I say God died, if you know, God cannot die. I know, but he died as a man. Okay, but you know God cannot die as a man. The man is the man that died. You just want to, like, communication of idioms means you can say some things of this union. You can say some things of the human person. Okay, you can speak of him as if he's the divine person. That's just what it is. But when we start questioning, when we get to this level, we realize that if I ask you who felt pain, it has to be no person. If you want to be orthodox, who died? It has to be no person. No person died. Okay, because the divine person is the only person there, and he cannot die. So no person. And if you say he died, that means it's not divine. Whoever died is not divine. So you choose which one you want. Do you want him to be divine or not? So any which way is just getting bad. If you don't want to use who, you want to use what? Who felt pain on the cross? Who? What felt pain on the cross? And you say it's the human nature. Fine. The human nature felt pain. And you can ask, how can something that is not a human person feel pain? You know, that's another good question. How can something is not a human person, it's just a human nature, but he has a body, and that just ties in with all of that anyway. But no problem, give them. What felt pain on the cross? Human nature. Fine. The divine person didn't feel the pain, so useless in the end. Do you see that? So at the end of the day, guys, you can use it to show them that they can never say that God died. You saying that God died is just linguistic stuff, because when we ask you, you say, I know God cannot die, but as a man, okay, can God die as a man? God cannot die by definition. He cannot die as another thing. Dying as another thing. Does it mean he died? Okay, let me even emphasize on that, guys. If you say, by the way, this video is getting longer, but watch it, guys. So this is God now. We know God cannot die, okay? But can you say God died as something else? So if you say he died as something else, as a man or whatever, can he die as something else? That's another question. We already know that he cannot die. Cannot die has to have a meaning. Meaning there's no way he can die. He's immortal. Okay? Immortal. Cannot die. If you now say that he died as, does that mean he died or not? So if you say he died as, I will now ask you, so God died or not? This is the one thing we need to know, or not. So we say God cannot die, so God cannot die. See, God died as, we'll now ask you, he died as a man in this case, okay, as a man. So did he die really? Say he died, then he's not God, because we already said God cannot die. If you say no, he didn't die, then he didn't die. I cannot die as another thing. Very important thing that I just showed here. Remember this, because this is what they use. This is the escape they will try to use for you, that God died as a man. It's not possible. He cannot die as anything. If dying as anything means he died, that means he's not God. Okay, so understand that, and I hope you can get all the things that we've discussed here, inshallah. I think these two episodes I've made on the incarnation is good, and it has a lot of content actually. I hope you can watch them over again. If you don't understand them, follow all from the first one and the second one. You'll be able to have a much more better understanding. And the arguments I've presented for you, they're actually good ones and solid ones. But maybe in the next one I'll just present some other premise to conclusion argument also. So I hope you enjoyed this. Share this with your friends, like and subscribe, and we meet another time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.